Okay, here we are at Bemco Backpacker Oven again, and I want to talk about some stoves that you cannot use with the Bemco Backpacker Oven. This is an example right here. This is a Featherlight Coleman Feather 400. You cannot use this type of stove with the Bemco Backpacker Oven. The reason being, when you set the oven over the top of it, first off, it doesn't fit. The stove is too tall. Okay? And that goes with any canister stove. Not only that, but if you were to do that, that canister in there would get the same temperature as the temperature of the oven. So if your oven is at 400 degrees, that canister is at 400 degrees. And imagine, I think if you threw a canister in a fire, it's going to explode. So you cannot use canister type stoves that have the burner attached directly to the canister like this. Okay, that you can't do that. You'll end up getting hurt. The stoves that you can use with the Bemco Backpacker Oven, the Simmerlight, the MSR WinPro, the MSR Whisperlight International, the Bemco alcohol stove, which there's a video on that. It shows how it works. The Trangia stove. Look at that, I got soot all over my hand. We have a stove stand available made by Brunton that we've shortened up so that you can use the Snow Peak Giga. You can use the MSR Pocket Rocket. And there's a number of other stoves out there on the market that have the fuel line to the burner. That is the type of stove that you have to use. Now, another thing I want to mention on stoves is that if you have a stove that has plastic on it, on this, any part of the stove in this area that's going to be underneath the oven, that plastic is going to melt. And it's going to ruin your stove. So that's another thing to look for, is if you have a stove that has plastic on it, granted, it's going to be, if the oven's 400 degrees in here, it's going to be 400 degrees down here in the bottom. So you cannot have a stove that has plastic on it, otherwise that plastic will melt. So that's another thing to watch for. Okay, there's stoves that we've used. My preference, I just love the WinPro, MSR WinPro, and the MSR Simmerlight are two excellent stoves to use with this oven. The Whisperlight is a little harder to control. The Trangia alcohol stove is okay. It won't bake for a long period of time, for say like brownies that take 30 minutes or lasagna that takes 30 minutes, something like that. The Bemco alcohol stove works for biscuits or something that takes about 15 minutes to bake. Because you cannot add more fuel to it. So there you have it. There's stoves that we use with the Bemco Backpacker Oven. Again, like I say, my recommendation is either the WinPro if you're a canister person, or if you're a white gas, the MSR Simmerlight is really good. I'm sure there's other ones out there that work real well. I've had customers talk about all kinds of different stoves. There's just numerous that people have used with it. Again, just remember, it has to be attached to your fuel supply with a fuel line. Your fuel supply cannot be underneath the oven. That's one of the reasons why we made it the way we did, so that you can't really use a canister stove with this oven, because then you could get hurt, and we would hate to have anybody getting hurt. So, okay, thank you very much.